Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of a Rust Bucket Restoration. We have this 1966 right-hand drive Karmann Ghia in epoxy primer, and I put some body filler on it. So let's get into talking about body filler, how we should apply it, how we should mix it, and what we got to do. Alright, so what is body filler? Body filler is quote-unquote Bondo. Bondo is a trademark name for body filler. There are a bunch of different brands out there. Everybody knows Bondo. I don't like Bondo. A lot of people don't. It's rock hard. It dries really hard. It dries really fast. It's not good to put on. We'll get into that right now. There's like Rage Gold. There's Evercoat, which is like the main company. They make this one that I use, which is called Z-Grip. I like it. This is about, for a gallon, it's about like 45 bucks. You could buy it on Amazon. Pretty good. It goes on smooth as butter. It's really easy. So before we actually apply the body filler, let's talk about the supplies we need. First off, we need a clean sheet of paper. So this is like an artist palette, has the holes for your fingers to hold it. This is what you mix your body filler on top of. It's a clean sheet of paper. It's actually a pad of paper. So when you're done with one, tear it off. You got a new clean sheet ready to go. So this is available, and all the other tools I'm going to be talking about are available on my Amazon page below the description of this video. It goes to my Amazon page where I put all the tools that I've used, that I like, that you guys can get too. So in addition to that paper, we have some scrapers. These are metal and they're bendable. So I use this little one to go into the actual body filler can and put it on the paper. That's all that I use this one for. Then I use these scrapers. So these are obviously different sizes, and these are used for actually mixing your body filler and applying the body filler to the vehicle. So they're different sizes because sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less, and they are bendable. So you want to put the body filler after you mix it on the paper. You want to scoop it up, you want to apply it on the body real smooth. See how it's bendable? That's what you want to do. You want to clean these afterwards. You can use these forever. You just need to make sure you clean them. Sometimes people don't clean them, they throw them away. You could buy a big pack of them if you don't want to clean them. I like to clean them because I don't want to be so wasteful, and I can't afford to keep buying all this stuff new. So these are things you need. Now let's get to mixing the body filler. Okay, so let's mix up some body filler. I have my Z-Grip here, and I'm going to put it on a clean sheet. And remember, you always want to have a clean sheet. So I'm going to grab some in here. I don't need that much, so I'm just going to grab a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put down here on the sheet. Alright, so there, I have that much on there. After I do that, I'm going to use my scraper. I'm going to get this, scrape this off. You want to use every bit that you can. Don't be wasteful. Okay, now we're going to get our hardener. Now you just want to put a line through the hardener. This one you don't need that much because we don't have very much. Just like that. That's probably enough. Doesn't look like much, but it actually is. Now you want to mix it up. Now the way you want to mix it up is you want to make it go real flat because you don't want any air pockets in there. When you get air pockets in there, it's not going to hold very good on the car, and it's eventually going to fall apart. So you want to mix it real good and lay it down. Mix it up real good together. Do you see how it's changing colors? It's going to turn to a blue color almost. Grab it, mix it up. You don't want to be dabbing it because you're just adding air pockets. You don't want air pockets in there because when you go to apply it on the car, you're going to have air pockets, and then it's not going to be supported and it's going to fall apart. So you just want to mix it up. Pick it up again. Drop it. Lay it down. Pick it up again. You want to repeat this several times till it's fully mixed. And now we're ready to apply it to the car. Now when we apply it to the car, we want to do the same thing. We want to apply it real smooth and not just slap it on like that. Why? Because if it's going to dry like that, there's going to be all these high spots. It's going to be hard to sand. You want to put it on real smooth. Alright, so I know it's hard for you guys to see, but right here is a low spot. You can kind of see it. I kind of sprayed some primer on here so you guys can see a little bit better. So right in here is a low spot, so I need to fill it up. So let's see how I do it and how you should apply your body filler. Remember, you want to be real smooth. You want to make sure it's mixed very well and you don't have any air bubbles in there. So I did that. I got a clean applicator, and we're ready to go. Remember, you don't want to let it sit too long because as you're doing this, it's mixing and it's drying. So let's apply some. So I'm going to grab some, Don't need too much. Okay. There we go. Let's apply it. Apply some more. So do you see how smooth it is? See this line right here? We need to get rid of that. Let's go over it again. Now I know there are other low spots, so I'm going to get them too, and I got to do this before it dries. So let me just get this going. See? So you see it's nice and smooth. It's not caked on there, and honestly you're going to sand most of this off. So now that we've applied body filler, we have to wait for the body filler to dry. Some body fillers dry within an hour and you can start sanding right away. I don't like that. I usually wait till overnight and then I start sanding. Why? Because I have the time. This is a restoration. This is a project of love. I'm going to wait and I'm going to take my time so I do it right, and I know all the body filler is dry. So what tools are we going to use? There are several tools that you should have in your arsenal. Let's go over some of them. Here I have a straight line sander. This, some people call it an inline sander. This is a straight line sander. So basically this bottom part just goes back and forth. You apply a piece of sandpaper right here, you hold onto it, and it'll do this. On my car, I don't have very many straight lines, so I'd probably use this for the doors, and that's about it. So straight line sander, that's something good if you have like a truck or something with like a Lincoln Continental with a big, large straight panels. This would be your best friend. Aside from that, we have this. This is called a mud hog, a DA sander. This, if you look at it real closely, see it doesn't spin in a perfect circle. It's kind of offset. This is good to have. You buy the 6-inch pads for it. And this is also geared, so it's really, really strong. And there is an adjustment setting right here to make it stronger, faster. And this is good to have. Again, you don't want to be doing this like the whole car really aggressively. No, you're going to rip off that epoxy primer. You're going to rip off that body filler. So be careful with this because it's really powerful. All right, in addition to that, we have a smaller sander. This is a little palm sander. This you have more control. Here's the button, you hold it like that. And this is more detailed work. This you'll be using a lot when you're color sanding as well with the finer grits, you know, 1200, 1500, 3000, 5000, 8000. So this is really good. This will help you a lot when you're color sanding. But as for now, you know, you might use this to get more handheld, closer to your project, things like that. And another sander that I just bought is this little guy. This is really good. This is like a mini belt sander. It can adjust its angle and get into little spots where you just can't get your fingers or a bigger sander into. All right, so now that we have that, we gotta talk about other tools. So once we knock down all the high spots, we want to get into more detailed sanding. We want to know the project. We want to know the piece of metal we're working on. How do we do that? Well, we got to use our hands and we got to use our eyes. And there are a lot of sanders right here that this is manual labor, folks. So these are straight sanders. You know, they're flat. You add the sandpaper to them. But what do you do with a car that has curves? Well, there are flexible sanders. Okay, see, this is really flexible. This will adhere to the contours of your car. And if you look at it, one side is really soft and one side is a little bit harder. But overall, it's flexible. So I'm going to use this harder side, put sandpaper on it, and I'm going to go over it, and it will adhere to the contours of my car. So this is what I'm going to be using. So I knock down the high spots with the sanders that are air-powered tools, and I'm going to go over it with this and get the finer details, use the finer grits, and get ready for the high build primer. All right, so I think that does it for this episode. In the next episode, episode number 5, we'll be going over sanding the car, what to look for, getting these panels aero straight and looking really good. And then we're going to be applying the high build primer to it, sanding it again. This is the longest process and it's dirty and it's tedious, but we're going to get through it. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And again, all the tools that I use are available in my Amazon store at the link down below the description. And thank you guys. This channel is growing good and it's going great. And I hope you guys love the content. I got 2 more cars up to bat after this car is done. So please stay tuned. Thank you. Now you don't want to apply body filler super thick to make up for dents. That you need to do body work on the car for. That's why I spent a lot of time on this Karmann Ghia getting it really, really straight. So by the time I get to this point, which is applying body filler, I don't need very much. You're going to run into a lot of these body shops out there that want to rip you off and charge you a lot of money, and they're not going to do the actual metal work. So you got to make sure that you review and look for and investigate all these people you work with, because a lot of people like to cut corners. And this is the point they cut corners at. They cut corners by, instead of working the metal, welding it, doing all the repairs that they need to, they just slap body filler on it and cover up all the mistakes that they have. That's not the way to do a restoration. That's not the way to work. I don't work like that. I don't want you guys to work like that either.